Craig, a year in this position, lots learned, lots achieved.
Yeah, it's been an interesting little road. You and I spoke a year ago, probably much to the day, I'm thinking.
Yeah.
And we kind of had an idea of where we wanted to take it, and we're probably a tenth of the way there. But we were able to, this year as watermarks was, we were able to get the final done, the Abu Dhabi final put together, which was a lot of work in a short order of time. And that final went well and was well received by the athletes. And then the second one was the quotas and the registration systems and all of that to get down to where we have 40 of the top athletes, 30 being through the ranking system and 10 or 11 or 12 being through qualification. And really happy to report that we are full in all the classes except for one, which we had a medical situation, so that individual couldn't make it. But other than that, we've got 40 in all the Olympic classes. Best guys in the world are here, and we're looking forward to some more good racing. Yesterday was okay, wind wasn't perfect, but today looks like it'll be a little bit better, and we'll let them rip.
It's a lot easier to find your way from a media point of view and from a human point of view to find the top guys in the boat park. It's a lot easier.
Yeah, I imagine it is.
But it must translate into better quality racing because you haven't got 3 courses or five lots of lasers to get off in a day. You've only got two fleets, so that makes it easier, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it gives us a lot more flexibility to wait for wind and a lot more flexibility to manipulate the course a little bit if we like. Bringing a qualification course in with 50, 60 lasers on it close to the shore is one thing versus 40 lasers that are the top guys, and bringing them into the shore so that it's closer for the spectators to see and the rest of that. Didn't do too good on that yesterday, but I think you'll see today that a lot of the race courses will be closer into shore, and the racing course itself will be a little tighter, so it should be good.
And looking forward to Abu Dhabi, or the final is, where will it be?
The final will be in Abu Dhabi again,
Yeah.
And that's kind of our fixture for the next couple of years. So we've got, after this event, we'll go to Weymouth, and then from Weymouth we'll work to get what we're calling the bus, which is a logistics partner that we're going to announce in the next couple days, that will help us ship the boats from Weymouth to Qingdao, and then from Qingdao they go on to Abu Dhabi, and then the bus continues on to Melbourne and then back into Miami and finally end up here again. So it's our hope that we'll be able to get a lot of these boats into or on the bus, and so that each event will have a good turnout and we can replicate the numbers that we have here.
The logistics of getting boats around for athletes when they're trying to have boats in their home country and practice in Rio, it's all very complicated, isn't it?
Well, it is, and it's not that you can have one boat. I mean, the game is such now that many of the teams are running 4 and 5 boats. They have 1 or 2 in Rio, one for them to train, a training partner boat at home, a boat in Europe, and then one that can travel to go to Worlds or Sailing World Cups. So yeah, the logistics side of it is hard, particularly when we have World Championships that had already been planned before we got the World Cup to where we wanted it schedule-wise. So for example, this year after the final in Abu Dhabi, which is in November, you've got a 49er World Championship in Argentina, you've got a Finn Gold Cup in New Zealand, and then in Oman you've got a Laser Worlds and RSX Worlds. So you have 5 of the Olympic disciplines, or 6, with worlds that are backed up in between the Sailing World Cup in Melbourne and the final. So yeah, it's we're hopeful that with better scheduling and running the calendar with the Olympic classes, we'll be able to make it a little bit easier for everybody, because right now it's a challenge.
Yes. Now, I guess the reason that the whole World Cup has been revamped is partially about making it more attractive for sponsors. What progress in that area?
Well, a part of it is the sponsors, and then the other part of it is also we want to deliver something that the elite athletes will take part in, and through having this qualification system and only allowing 40 to come play has made it for the elite athletes something they can't miss. So it's that part of it's good. On sponsorship, we've done well. I mean, we've announced Gazprom, which is a sponsor across all of ISAF, not just the Sailing World Cup. And we've got some, we'll be announcing a logistics partner in the upcoming weeks here. And also we've had some pretty positive meetings that hopefully by Weymouth we'll have a couple more announcements we can make with respect to sponsors.
And running a World Cup in coming up to an Olympics, does that make it more complicated in terms of scheduling for next year?
Yeah, it does. And I mean, the other part of it's not an issue. The challenge is that it's in the southern hemisphere, so the Olympics is in Brazil. And so that adds an added wrinkle in that you're now extending the season for the athletes, and you've got a lot of pull of events down there. So typically November, December, January, February, which are kind of quiet months in Europe and for the sailors, and where we have the Sailing World Cups currently scheduled, are conflicted with these class world championships. And then obviously the athletes and the M&As need to spend time in Brazil to train. And so there's a lot of flying going on.
Yeah. Now, your two weakest legs are obviously in the World Cup are obviously Qingdao and Melbourne in terms of participation because of the tyranny of distance, I guess. How are you going in addressing that?
Well, I think our bus system will really help that. And then, so with respect to Qingdao, our hope is that we will ship from Weymouth boats at an incredibly reduced price for the athletes into Qingdao, as basically it's 34 containers that we'll put together that will take all this equipment and go.
How many?
34.
Wow.
And so we're getting racking developed for those containers that we can get 8 470s in and 9 fins, and we'll just pack them in. And so for those classes, the hope is that people will take advantage of it, put a boat in it, and it'll do the circuit. So then the issue for Australia and for Qingdao is to make the event something that people want to go to. We've got 200 points in it, which is valuable for ranking points, which allows them to continue in the circuit in the U.S. and in Europe. And so the other thing that we've done with Melbourne is they've agreed with City Council to move to St. Kilda. And that move is a significant move for us commercially, but also for the athletes. I think it'll be a new place, great place to sail out of, and the public access is really way better than it has been for that event. And so I think that'll be another reason that we'll be able to draw some people. And then finally, we're looking to increase our TV. We've announced we'll do live TV for the medal race here. We'll do the same in Weymouth, and we're in negotiations to do the same in China, and Abu Dhabi does it, and Miami and Melbourne.
Yeah, and certainly that live feed is a very valuable commodity, I guess.
Yeah, it is, and it's valuable to us as for our sponsors, our potential sponsors, and the product that we're trying to deliver, but also for the athletes. It's an opportunity for them to, in a smaller group, have a bigger opportunity to show their sponsors and what they can do, and along those lines.
Yes, interesting times ahead.
Yeah, it's as I say, we're 10% there. We're pretty happy with where we are. Probably won't be right until it's 17. We've got 2 more years in Qingdao, and then 2017 we'll look to move the Asian leg of the Sailing World Cup into the Olympic venue in Japan. And so that'll make the Asian one click for sure, because of course the M&As and teams will all want to go and train in the Olympic venue. So that helps that leg a little bit more again.
Yeah, absolutely. That's, okay, and can you talk about any more of the next 90%?
Yeah, I think we want to improve our game on the water a little bit. We want to make sure commercially it's working. We're bringing it into the beach where races are run crisply and at a high level. We want to not increase our footprint, make our footprint for the village a lot more feel like a Volvo village or a AC village. Here and other venues, typically we're a little spread out and doesn't have a cornerstone, and so we've introduced, in Weymouth, we'll introduce what's called ISAF House, which will be basically a lounge that will become the cornerstone, and we'll go to all the events. And then if we can build out around that and bring the boats closer together. We've done a great job here, but we could do more as far as getting the NACRAs right here in the center, and working with the OA here to increase ramps and make water access and just make it a bit more of an intense venue, and then work to figure out ways that we can engage the public better. Big TVs, announcers, all those things that we still need to get to.
Good. Congratulations so far.
Thank you.
Okay, that's good. Okay, yeah, well.